There we go. Go live. Hitting it now. Sweet.
Hitting the important button. Some could even argue the most important button.
Oh, the most important button isn't anywhere on my computer.
Well, yeah, I guess the one I have is also pretty important.
Well, I'm thinking with my Captain Foley brain. So you just let your mind wander.
That's a terrible brain. Don't ever trust that. Wait.
Which button I'm talking about?
That's
Oh, look, we're live. Hi, guys. How's it going? Good to see you all.
How's it going for you, Stuart? You went straight
Mr. President.
Oh, Mr.
Ozzy has upgraded his membership to Federation President.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I think we have 4 Federation Presidents now.
Well, I mean, at that point, it's not how we feel about it; it's how the other presidents feel about it. The reigns of power getting more and more confusing. I mean, they're gonna.
To be fair, we got 4 quadrants.
Oh,
we can have a Federation President for each quadrant.
That's brilliant. Yeah. Yep. That means that when we dip into different quadrants in our travels, we instantly get different orders and different. It's like, so now we have to wear sombreros. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, because this bloody quadrant. Oh my God, this one. That's
thank you, Ozzy, for the upgrade. Wow. That is awesome. If you guys also want to join,
yes,
it starts very cheap, and you can join the rank of Commander, Captain, Admiral, Fleet Admiral, or the Federation President, and it supports the channel on a monthly basis. So we really appreciate all the support. Ozzy has been a member for over a year now. Oof. At his previous Fleet Admiral. So that is awesome. As you can see, the badge beside his name is the 1-year one. So
amazing.
Very important.
And just to clarify, we make 70 to 80 to 85% of our income on the super chats and the channel memberships. That's how odd YouTube is and how silly it is. So we do this as much as we do because you guys give, and that can be $5 every 3 lives, 10 lives, whatever. It all does mount up. So that sort of support is literally why we keep going. So and I love it the fact that so few of you. Because we're not greedy, we only need so much to justify to ourselves that we can keep going because we earn rent. That's fine. And how many thousands of you get to enjoy what we do because a few of you give? That's amazing to me. That we, you know what I mean? That so few can help for so many. I love that. It's brilliant. Look.
Cool. Well, we got a bunch of super chats to read, but should I read those first or tell them why they're here? I mean, they've seen the thumbnail. They know why they're here.
We'll talk about the thing we're in now, because you can now see the live stream, so you can now give us your first reaction, because you're seeing it for the first time too.
This is our fancy new sneak peek L-cars that we've got for Lower Decks, done by the great Tim Davies. He does fantastic work, so thank you so much. And yeah, I love L-cars. I'm impressed. That looks really cool. I like that.
Because Prodigy is also animated, so I thought, hey, let's tease. And this also has a bigger widescreen box, so it made more sense than our less sleek TNG. So yes, coming in about 4 weeks, when I start rolling out the new L cars, and that'll be replacing all the other stuff. We were doing some backlog pre-edits and then the new stuff, so it'll kind of all be at the same time. But yeah, brand new, and I'm sure we have to ask Tim, Prodigy, Prodigy L cars, Prodigy, Tim. But low decks for now. Yes, now you can talk about super chats, Stuart.
Oh, super chats. Yes, Eugene, 1,000 rubles.
Ooh.
What is it? Doesn't resemble Star Trek design at all. Janeway has gone full warp 10 again. Let me guess. Produced, directed, and developed solely under Alex Dipshit himself. I mean, Kurtzman.
I mean...
We'll talk about that probably, but yes.
And to be fair, we have no idea his involvement yet, because look at Lower Decks. That obviously has ultra no amount of his interference, clearly. So we don't know. We don't know. We cannot say.
Yep. Well, we'll have to wait and see, but yes.
Although it's weird, he would want to be involved in the kids show rather than the teen show. Like if he has choice of which projects. Yeah.
Have you seen Kurtzman?
Not in real life.
He's like 5 years old. Though the Chinese and you are like that.
Wait, he's good at political speak. He speaks more than he produces. Although I guess he has produced a lot of content, but
yeah. Olivia Julius, so $5. Welcome a few ground rules here. 1, be nice, and 2, don't say the red guy in the pic is the new Klingon. You will get a fully disappointed look.
Oh dear me.
And she knows, yeah, because she suggested that was the new redesign for the Klingons for Prodigy, and I gave her a disappointed look last night.
That's a bold assertion. That it's bold and foolish.
Bold and italic. And
it's Helvetica. It really is. Just
yes. Ozzy Maderos, $5. All hail the Spirit Commander and Super Captain Foley. It's Badgie time.
It's true. Will Badgie appear in the show? Who knows? Who knows?
Ooh, well, I'm sure we'll be talking about this show quite a bit in the next few weeks. Hopefully, they'll be revealing some new stuff. But yeah.
Yes, we want to see things. Show us things.
Olivia Julius, $5. Congratulations, President Ozzy. May your presidency be long-lived. Indeed.
Long live the Empire. I mean, wait.
Yes.
Is that our universe? I don't know. Or did I give the game away?
Not a band account, $2. Idic. Anything can be Trek. We need Starfleet CSI. I actually have a Star Trek, it's a murder mystery novel. It's about a murder on a starbase. I haven't read it yet though, but it's kind of got that, detective feel to it. So, that would be an interesting show.
And Idic's an interesting one, although Idic as a philosophy is fine, but you can still have bad quality Idic. It doesn't matter if it's diverse; it matters if it's good quality, and you can still have bad quality while being diverse. So it's not the same issue for me anyway.
Yeah.
Lower Decks is weird, but it's brilliant. So it earned its weirdness.
It earned its pips.
It's many ensign pips because they like being ensign. There's no need to really upgrade. It's fine.
Let's see. There's 4 of them, right? So together they make a captain. Isn't that how that works?
That is how rank works.
Jeffrey Jacobs, $2. Sorry, I'm late. 50. Yes. On to 100. Hashtag make Jeff pay. Yes, we already hit 50 likes, which is awesome. Over 100 people here already, which is amazing.
Yes.
So hit that like button, guys. Let's get up to at least 100 likes. I'm sure we can do it easily.
Well, this is our first new Trek stream in a month and a week. Feels longer. So yeah, we're back to new Trek again. Yay! In the most teasing picture possible. Not quite as much to talk about as the first look of Lower Decks. That had a lot to talk about. But hey.
True.
Hey.
True.
What else is watching?
But yeah, it's been announced it's going to be out this year sometime. So.
Well, they're in desperate need of something new to come out. So as are everyone. I mean, everyone's got the same problem. But I'll start showing though. Are we thinking we're up?
Olivia Julie's $5. Oh, we got 2 new super chats rolled in. You want me to read them before you go share?
I'll prep share.
Olivia Julius, $5. A new Star Trek show. Does this mean the Enterprise is 6 miles long and has 200 decks? Probably. They have to redesign the Enterprise for each new show.
Or have the Voyager. Who the hell cares? Just another Voyager. Voyager B in this.
Ooh, and we got 3 of our presidents here today. Mark Lawrence is here. Good to see you, Mark. $5. Nice, another president. I'm getting a Tripping the Rift vibe from these characters. Ooh, that's a good reference. I like that one a lot, actually. Yeah, we're gonna talk about each character design and yeah. Who's Chode then?
Well, I will start sharing and
yes.
So can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I can't hear you. You're muted. It's amazing. I can't hear you yelling into the microphone. It's good. All right, guys. So super chats are a great way to support the channel if you can. Just hitting that like button is a free way. We're at 71 likes. We can get 100 easily with the amount of people we have here. So hit that like button if you haven't. And joining the channel is another great way as well. As you saw, Ozzy upped his membership from Fleet Admiral to President today. So we really appreciate that. Those monthly memberships really help out the channel a lot. And they do show your support for the channel. So please consider doing that. You do get your name highlighted. You get a little badge beside your name, shows you how long you've been a member. And we're more likely to kind of notice your comments and stuff that way as well. So plus, just shows your support. So we appreciate that. If you want to help out in another monthly way, you can head over to Patreon/Trekyards and donate that way. Or you can also, yeah, as I said, super chat. We have to read every super chat, your comment, question, whatever. It's a great way to interact with us and have your voice heard and make it seen by everybody. 'Cause it's all colorful and pretty, and we all read it. But anyway, you can also send a PayPal. PayPal sent to trekyards@hotmail.com. If you do send a PayPal, just let us know you sent it, though, so that we can, in the regular chat, so that we can look on our email and read the PayPal via email and read your comment or question that way. It's another way to support us. Or just clicking the links down below in the description. There's a beautiful description underneath every video, and they all have, every description has links and fun things to help you out with discount codes and things like that. So check those out. And of course, the easiest way is just to hit that like button, share the video around, make sure you're subscribed. A lot of people apparently have been being unsubscribed from our channel by YouTube. One of our regulars that's on here quite a bit didn't get any notifications from. I missed a lot of lives because YouTube unsubscribed him from the channel. So make sure you guys subscribed, click that button if you're not, and click the notification bell icon to all to get notified when we do upload or do lives, because we do a lot of really good content and lots of lives. So make sure the notification bell icon is clicked.
Now you can hear me again. It works. Stability is restored. Stability is restored.
Yes. I was going to make a joke. I can't hear you, but then you get all frustrated and try to figure it out, and it would be sad. So it's probably better that we can't hear him, guys. I don't think we should tell him. It'll make the live much more interesting. Did he just say it? I can't tell. He's got something in front of his mouth. Anyway, Olivia Julius, $10.
Oh.
I got the girl that made the stars vibe from this animation style. I don't. This looks better than that. Thank God. By the way, do you think Janeway is going to be big in the show, or just once or twice in the pilot like Data? That's a very good question, and we're going to talk about her involvement in it at some point during this discussion, I'm sure. But I have a few ideas of how she might be making an appearance. So Australia is not real. Just ask a flat earther, $5 Australian. Paying us with fake money from your fake place of.
But he admits it. So what do you want? Yeah.
True. Busy with children, so can't troll you today. Well.
Close enough.
Appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Not a band account, $5.
Thank you.
We can have a Bajoran occupation Trek show where Cardassian oppressors act unnervingly like modern politicians. The writers and producers disagree with. No. I don't like any of that. There's a lot of words there that I don't like. Oppressors, politicians, writers, producers. Disagree. Bajoran. Yeah, there's a lot in that sentence I don't like. So I'm just going to say no.
It's so random. I love it.
Oh, Mark Lawrence, $5. This has a good opportunity for an EMH appearance. They all do. Every show, all the new Treks have an opportunity for an EMH.
And
for
we've
the
asked.
Doctor to show up.
We've asked. Starweaver, email trekyards@hotmail.com. Easy answer. But Stuart, then, obviously, I've not heard your reaction. In fact, this came out really late last night. I was just able to email you and say, hey, look! And I didn't look at it again, really, because I want to keep my thoughts. First reaction-y. What do you think, though? Where's your gut at?
Well, I did my first reaction last night. Usually my first reaction is me just telling people my first reaction from when I had my first reaction. This was actually my first reaction because I read it on air. And underwhelmed, to say the least. There's no information here at all. We just get to see a cast photo, essentially, of the main cast, I would assume. And honestly, you had showed me this, I would never in 1,000 years have guessed Star Trek. Not even close.
Pixar,
There's
maybe.
Nothing. Yeah. There's nothing here that looks remotely Star Trek. The legs on the robot, the feet, anything like that. There's no ties. Now, It could be that these characters are from the Gamma Quadrant or the Delta Quadrant or whatever. They're not you know. But we'll get into that discussion in a minute. But honestly, I'm happy for the animation style. I'm more pleased with this than I was with Lower Decks style. I wasn't a big fan of that style going into it, but it proved itself as a good show. So the animation's kind of This looks good. But what are your thoughts on these guys? Because, yeah, what are your thoughts?
Well, it's a two-part answer. Showing them themselves tells you only something, but the fact that press release says this is the bridge crew, unfortunately tells us, because we were under some assertion that they were meant to be cadets, Starfleet cadets that finds an abandoned ship and Janeway helps them. Clearly that's not the premise. These aren't Starfleet cadets. So that's not what they had said. There's not even one Starfleet cadet. So this really takes it from being a familiar yet arty kids show into just something random in the Trek universe that's random for the sake of random. And while none of the designs are bad, except maybe the robot, he's just generic, and we don't use robots in Trek, and so it's kind of annoying. They're starting to see robots. They want to be Star Wars. That's the whole thing. Fine, but it's like they're all fine. But
the thing is, they're all Pixar character analogs. You got Mike from Monsters Inc. as the robot.
Sully from Monsters Inc. as the big guy. You got Orville guy, the gloopy guy. The only one I do like, I like the main one in the middle. I think that's a good design. Reminds me of a lot of some Mass Effect designs. But it's still just, tall alien with Twi'lek style, And obviously they've got the lady next to her, Afro to be, I'm sure they're going to be the bratty younger, more attitude. Afro equals attitude. It's like, okay, fine.
Yep. Yeah. But Kenny Ambrose actually messaged me yesterday or last night late. So the robot is Mike from Monsters Inc. The guy beside him is Shrek. The girl is Ahsoka.
Yep.
The guy standing next to him is whoever that is from Rebels.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Then you got
Ezra.
Yafid from You got Yafid from Orville, and then the big guy is Big Hero 6 guy.
Oh yeah.
They're just using everything that worked in other kids shows and throwing it all together. So I don't know. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing though. Lower Decks is substance over style, where the writing and characters come through. This to me feels more like potentially art and style over substance. But it is a kids show, so the kids show is meant to be more vibrant, more colourful, more feast for the eyes. Although this certainly gives, we had the Janeway announcement that raised it from being a kids show to a real show aimed more at kids. This lowers the bar once more down to a kids show with Janeway in it that's aimed at kids that is not going to take its design as seriously.
And Janeway's in it. Like, whoever made the good point of how much is she going to be in it? Olivia actually. Just once or twice, pilot. Yeah, like that's a good question.
Well, they did say that they find the ship and she helps them, and she's the helps them throughout the entire season and in season 2. She's in every episode. She's the linchpin that makes it Star Trek. I'm assuming is going to be the caveat.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah, and they there's no clarification whether it's Captain Janeway or Admiral.
No,
Janeway.
it's Captain. They keep saying Captain, so it's.
Oh, is it okay?
Yeah, that is. Captain.
So if it is, it could be that it's a holodeck simulation based on a captain's logs of hers or something.
Or in the future, and it could be a hologram totally of Janeway. That could be.
Yeah. There's a lot of story ideas we could throw around, but we kind of want to wait till we learn more about that before we really discuss that kind of stuff.
Well, this tells us nothing about the era, and they've told us nothing about the era. Because if this is like the 2700s in the Delta Quadrant, and someone gets a hologram of Janeway, and it's like, look, we've got Janeway, and we're like, yeah, but it's not Janeway, is it? It's Janeway personality. And then it's like, let's go as far away from Star Trek as we can to tell a kids show. Because at the very least, like Discovery Season 3 learned its lesson, and you had Cardassians and Morn's race. I was certainly expecting to see a Cardassian and, Bajoran and all these good races It's weird that all the other shows are going very faithful and classical, and everything here is new, and not particularly interesting. You know, I mean, at least 2 of them are aliens they wouldn't do on live action Star Trek, but that also takes you away from the Star Trek vibe into the more Star Wars and other show vibe, because Star Trek's always been grounded in humanoids, for better or for worse.
Mm-hmm.
That's a certain look and a feel. If you can do any sort of creature and any sort of style, that's everything else. It's like we don't use robots. You know, we have grounded stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing too. Like, looking at the robot, I thought, well, at least I'll look at the feet. I'll look for something that's recognizable as some part of something, an exocomp, something. There's nothing there, and like I said, that kind of makes me feel like these are characters from a different quadrant that just find a derelict Starfleet ship, and they aren't cadets. Like, that says that's what this picture is showing, and that's concerning considering what they've told us about the premise of the show. So, and the article doesn't say anything at all. So I don't know.
Yeah,
well, we got a few.
Yeah.
I was gonna say we got a few super chats here. So, Olivia Julius, $2. Good birdie, nice birdie. Please don't peck me. Which birdie? What? She's off her meds again, Samuel.
That's a dangerous thing. When the president can do whatever the president wants, as people have learned, it's not a good thing.
Yeah. Just move along and just ignore it.
Move along home.
Oh, good God. Ozzy Maderos, $5. The new president super chatted. Yes, the Doctor should be in the show in command of the Voyager. Well, no, not in command of Voyager, but he can definitely make an appearance. Olivia Julius, $5. The robot's legs were designed after Samuel's legs. How does she know you have robot legs?
How does she know one's red? Look, C-3PO is based on me. They just didn't want to make it 2 copyrights. They made up arm, not a leg. You know.
I know. It's because every time you move, you hear the. Yeah. See. See, and you need somebody to oil those lower joints. I don't want to volunteer for that job.
That's the lower Dex's job, and bloody Boimler is out getting drunk for.
He's Boimler affecting.
If he was, he'd look at the job done.
True. All right. Murray Nathan, $2. Looks like Rockman's receiving a blob job. Yeah, it doesn't look like the blob's facing us, actually. That's a good point. Blob job. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, Olivia Julius, $5. Puggy treats for the puggy. Please feed her. She says she hasn't eaten in 5 minutes. Poor puggy. That's actually legit. Yeah. And,
you go in and then we'll...
All right, fine. Eugene, 500 rubles. The style is so generic. These species look like they are from Orville or Marvel or Valerian or Buzz Lightyear and Star Command, but mostly Stellaris, if you remove all the Star Trek references from Stellaris. All right, well, yeah.
Well, let's briefly, though. So I have heard this, and I'm intrigued what you think. People have said that they think the big guy is a Talaxian.
Talaxian?
Neelix's race. A fat, small Talaxian with one arm.
Oh, the guy beside the robot.
Mm-hmm.
You said big guy. I thought you meant the rock guy.
So, yeah.
They called it. They said that he's probably one of the species that's referenced in the New Frontiers novels. It's a giant, like, rock creature. But anyway.
So, what do you think of Big Talaxian?
Now that you've said that, I can see it. Similar hair. And I'd be fine with that. Like I said, if these are guys for the Delta Quadrant or something, that'd be quite interesting, actually. And George Mangrum has joined the channel at the rank of captain.
Oh, so my goodness.
Welcome, Captain.
Captain George.
Thank you so much.
Captain. Well, hopefully join us on Saturday so you can captain us to get some liver disease. But fun.
Yes, we'll be talking more about that live later. We've got a nice little surprise for you guys that we're going to try. So,
yes.
Yeah, I can see him being Talaxian. He's kind of got the same spots on his chest and just,
But the thing is, everyone else looks so mishmash that actually is all accidental. That's a problem with it. Nothing feels intentional enough. Like there's no Talaxian symbol. There's no sense of Star Trek deliberacy in any of these images. This is one of those few times I think, we'd wanted to spy a delta on the robot. Like a few little things of, okay, that's this.
Yeah, exactly.
Although, Talaxian doesn't feel like it adds much to that. Talaxians aren't known for being great engineers. They're not known for much, really. Neelix is such a unique guy. They weren't overly fleshed out, etc., etc. Something about just having robots still just bugs me. It's them forcing something that doesn't need to be. We just don't do robots. It's not really like there are the occasional, like one every couple of seasons. There's a robot race, but this is a full-on robot. End of story.
That's what makes it feel Star Trek or Star Wars.
Yeah.
This is literally a robot you would see in Star Wars, And,
yeah. Well, it also looks like the guy from Portal. I feel like this should definitely have had some deltas, or if they want to Easter egg, some that's a Vidian symbol, and this is a. But it all seems pretty normal. The design's fine, although it looks super unfunctional. As in, there's no like gadgets or anything. It's just a circle with legs.
Do you have a picture you could send me that's more high res than the one that I have?
I already sent you them yesterday with the I sent you my ultra high res one.
Okay. All I got is the thumbnail. Anyway, it's okay.
That's okay.
It's okay. No, it's okay.
No, it's okay.
It's okay.
That's what I'm here for.
I'm looking at this going, this is not great.
There you go. 28 megabytes of high res.
Yay! Thank you, Samuel.
You're welcome. So the rock guy, big blue eyes, a rock creature, another engineer. Always the dumb guy that's polite and nice and helps them move stuff, I'm guessing.
Well, see, what he's wearing reminds me very much of an engineer. He's probably the smart guy.
Looks like a Packlid, but with scales.
Wow.
Now, see, how brave would that have been to have a Packlid on the crew?
He's a Packlid with cirrhosis. It's fine.
You see, I look at this and I say, ooh, how exciting would it have been if this crew had actually been instead Packlid, had been Cardassian, had been Bajoran, that's drama. The robot's actually an exocomp with a new body. Like,
yep.
He's a frontier exocomp. Talaxian's a good shout, and Vaudois maybe, And it's like, wow, that's a cast. Here it's like, okay. And it does definitely feel like they liked the guy from Orville and said we want a guy from Orville, and somehow the guy from Orville has more character than this, who has more character. Not to say,
Well, it feels like they're pulling from different things. Like we already mentioned, like there's a few characters here that look like other characters, like the stereotypical kid stuff.
Which is, to be fair, they're things that work for a reason. Like,
yep, absolutely. But I mean, pulling Yaphet out from Orville, I can see that because once Orville hit, season 2 of Discovery tried to add some more humor with Linus
which
the
was
turbo
great.
lift and things
Actually,
like
very
that.
good.
It was. But I can see them going, hey, that works. And we can do that now with visual effects, which is fine. Good, it like expands what you can do. Adding characters that you couldn't do in live action very well is great.
It feels the opposite of Lower Decks. Everything's someone we know, but doesn't make it special. Just means it's there. It's the exact opposite of that.
Yeah. Now, speaking of the blob guy, it looks like, is that supposed to be stars? Like the star pattern behind them as well? Like, is he see-through? It's really hard to say because it's the same colors as the nebula.
Yeah.
And with stars, it just looks like it might be, I don't know. I don't know if that's just how the character looks all the time or if it's just whatever's behind him.
There is a dark shadow in the middle, which could be the refraction of the guy's body. So I don't think he's
a skeleton or something. Yeah.
Or so if he is see-through, it's more of a refractive. So because the purple is like he's being lit from the side because that's between the two people, so it's hitting and it's refracting. So I wouldn't say see-through, it's maybe refracting light. Look, I mean, it's nice enough. Although is that meant to be a pet or some because it's not a crewman, But then these obviously clearly aren't anything to do with Starfleet. So you've now taken it from being something kind of interesting. And what a shame for Janeway to get stuck with a crew that isn't a crew. That's just some weird scavenger people. She had 7 years of her start. Her first crew out. We were hoping Janeway would be an epic admiral and do epic political things, and no, she gets stuck with some children that don't like children on a ship, and they're all aliens. That said, though, she has got much experience with random aliens for anyone for a while. Even in some of my fan films, no one's exploring in the Dominion War except Janeway, and they explored a new alien race every week. So she's actually the most explorer of the last 7 years when she gets home. I don't think you could argue that. I think that's very logical. But why, the way they make it sound pitch-wise, she's the only one they're meeting or that find her. So, it's quite a random thing for sure.
Well, yeah, interestingly enough. I'm just looking at the Talaxian, if that is him, a Talaxian guy. The stuff he's wearing, it feels very video game. It feels very like a Fallout character or something. It just, even the cross of the wrenches on his arm.
You've seen it 100 times before.
Exactly. Same with the robot. Actually, all of them. That's the problem. You can compare them to so many different other franchises.
And the irony is, to stop that sort of effect, if the guy had all Starfleet, he had a tricorder, he had a phaser, he had a hydrospanner, if he had everything on his belt was an actual prop from Star Trek, it would change from being, it's a who the hell cares thing, it would be to, now he's in the Star Trek world. Even though it's the same exact arrangement. And obviously, it doesn't work if he's from another quadrant, then it is obviously, doesn't have to be human. But by losing any of that connective tissue, it's like if the one in the middle, who again I think is the most interesting, was wearing part of a Starfleet uniform because it's like scraps of one, that's interesting.
Yeah, there's nothing Starfleet here at all, unfortunately.
Which is obviously intentional, but that's disappointing because I was expecting it to be a young crew of cadets. Like I heard that really early on, or Starfleet personnel.
Yeah.
Because obviously this means whereas like Voyager and X has to be very good, positive, professional people. This allows them to be shitty people or not professionals because they're not Starfleet. But what a weird thing for Janeway to get involved in. This makes way less sense. We all kind of assumed it was cadets lost and then having to do something. Commandeer an old ship.
Yeah. We got a few more super chats, which is great. So, Olivia Julius, $5.
Thank you.
Coming soon. How drunk can we make a British person? Find out on Saturday, where we get Samuel drunk. Yeah, Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be doing a live, and they're always fun. So, and like I said, there's going to be a surprise on this one. So stay tuned to the end of this live, where we're going to announce that. Also, we have 153 people watching and 103 likes. Let's get to 120 likes. Another 17 people. Hit that like button. We can get higher, obviously, but if you haven't hit the like button, please hit it. Squadron Chorus, $2. Danger, Will Riker, in best robot voice. Danger, Will Robert. Will Robert.
Will Robert.
Will Roberts. Danger, Will Riker. I can't do this.
Danger, Thomas Riker. Your other half is going to come take over your life. Oh, wait. That was 3 years ago. But... Yep, no, okay.
Hold on.
Okay.
Eric Sween has upgraded his membership to captain. So welcome to the rank of captain, sir.
Your tales, your exploits will be sung, glorious songs of them. You meant Klingon captain, right? Because there's 2 options. Klingon Federation or Klingon captain. I'm sure you... Oh, well, hey. Good for you.
Glory to you.
And your house. You did that successfully last time. That was very impressive. You're so close to getting old, but you managed to keep it interesting. All 2 hours of that. I said it as a joke, and he did it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Glory to you and your meme.
Ooh.
But can I? No, I can't. Okay.
Captain Chili Beana.
Oh,
$10. Just got here. Has anyone asked if this is the Delta Quadrant? Yes. I don't recognize any of these aliens, and the show description sounds like the kids don't know much about Starfleet. It could be the Gamma Quadrant. We don't know.
And
we don't know when it's.
And
we
I
don't
can
know
read
when.
read that in a second.
Yeah, we don't know when, where, whatever. Sean O'Sullivan, €2. If Fidians cured may look different to Denara. Yes. And Olivia Julius, $2. Is that tall girl the same species from Beyond?
No, but much closer. That has. I mean,
I can see why people would say that.
You can say it's a very different variation. Like Romulans have, smooth and not smooth head. Fine. But let's read the synopsis, which I made sure I wrote down. Star Trek Prodigy will follow a group of lawless teens who discover a derelict Starfleet ship and use it to search for adventure, meaning, and salvation. So, lawless teens, not good guys.
Juvenile delinquents.
Yeah. Who discover a derelict Starfleet ship and use it to search for adventure, meaning, and salvation. And Star Trek Voyager's Kate Mulgrew returning as role of Captain Catherine Janeway for the animated show. Derelict Starfleet ship, so they're not Starfleet. They may not even know who Starfleet is necessarily. I think honestly we've got to assume this is a hologram Janeway, that they find a ship and it's a ship in the future, as not much, just like either in Picard or post Picard by say 50 years, and they trip a holodeck subroutine and it's Captain Janeway because that's what's in the program. Because it's easy to say Captain Janeway because I know who she is at that point, timeline wise, and then it's like the emergency, or it's a training ship that was lost, say. And the automatic computer has the Janeway program as a training program, and therefore you can have Janeway without actually having Janeway, and you can have Starfleet without having Starfleet. So you have familiar sets and locales for the ship, but everything is all their own fancy.
And that makes a great premise for a show, but that's not what was said. That's not what we've implied or inferred. They implied, we inferred.
But they're saying Captain Janeway. Is so deliberate. I know they sometimes are stupid, Kurtzman especially, but the showrunners would know the naming convention of their own character, And I know they can lie, like Khan, just lie in press articles until the point when it's out. You can just lie because then it hides the secret. But where's the secret saying Admiral versus Captain? There isn't really anyone. So I'm also going to go on limits approach to hologram, because then what if this is maybe. What if maybe this was the next ship that went to the Delta Quadrant after Voyager that got lost? It was a lost to a transwarp experiment, and then on it is I don't know why you'd have emergency joint Janeway program, but because then you can have no repercussions. You're not going to mess up the timeline. Have it in a separate quadrant or in a separate part of the universe, and it just happens to be but then it just happens to be Star Trek. What are we getting from it except some characters we may or may not like? In a Federation starship, fine, great. I'm sure they're going to start to change it. They haven't seen Firefly yet, but she has the engine room be all different and quirky because she's a quirky character. You can imagine these people are going to mess up the pristine engine room and start adding pipes and smoke, and that becomes steampunk. And it's like that's not really the engineering core I'd want to see. I don't know. What do you
think? I can see them doing that with the ship, absolutely, kind of retrofitting it or doing what they need to do to get it to run. And as for the Janeway thing. Could it be that it was an intercepted signal from Voyager to the Alpha Quadrant?
Pathfinder.
Yeah, and the only message they got was a Janeway one, so they created a holodeck program based on that because they had Federation technology because they found the ship. So, and that's the reason it's Janeway. I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities there. But as for the ship itself, what era is it going to be? Let's say this is Nemesis era, right? It could be any era before that. It could be a long lost derelict ship from the TOS era that went through a wormhole or an anomaly and is somewhere in the Gamma Quadrant. That's where these guys are.
A temporal anomaly?
No. We're not going to ever say that. Come on now.
They actually said it in TNG a week and a half ago for our rewatch.
Oh, did they?
Yeah. I was like, Data said it, and then he moves on. It's like, oh no, but the context isn't right. Damn it, I can't use it for anything. I was so happy. It took me 4 seasons to say temporal bloody anomaly.
Yeah. So we have no information on the ship. The ship is going to be. We're going to love to get that information, an image, even of the interior, because it can be any era essentially, and we still don't know when this is set. This could be set in TOS time. I hope it's not.
Well, that's even more temporal hijinks.
Yeah. I don't know. I just give up. Jeff Jacobs, $2. 100. Awesome. On to 150. Blew it to do it. Hashtag make Jeff pay. 165 of you here, which is great. 123 likes. we can get 150 guys. Hit that like button.
You know what they needed here?
What?
They needed in between, because there's 3 and 3. Imagine, like, right behind the beam of light, there's Janeway in her red uniform, looking classic Janeway. If she was in the center, looking perfect, really good animated style, between the 3, be like, ooh!
Yes.
That's what you needed desperately in this picture.
Yep. You needed something Star Trek. The stars and the nebula in the back don't quite cut it. Now, also interestingly enough, I don't know if anybody else has noticed this, but Star Trek itself, the font is TOS.
Oh.
It's not the TNG font. It's not any other fonts later. It's the TOS font for Star Trek. Prodigy is its own font, obviously, but it does have the command delta star sideways, which is the one that's on the old TOS insignias. So, are they hinting that it's TOS with that evidence, the font and the star? And then how does Janeway play into it?
Well, and not just that, but that makes like a third TOS era show, and we do not want 3 TOS shows and they all keep butchering it. Why would you want that? Sorry, I don't want another TOS show. I barely want Stranger Worlds in the context of it's not a TOS show. You know.
Yeah.
Although Minkin says Kate Mulgrew has already wrapped her view in early January. Doubt she has a huge role if they're still in production of this. Well, they're doing 2 seasons back to back, so she is still producing it because they're just doing 2 full seasons. And last I heard, she talked about she had up to script episode 5 of 10, and that was I think January. So I think she's still, was still recording quite a lot, and she was really liking it. But yeah, they're doing 2 full seasons, which most things nowadays you get a 2-season order, just to kind of get things underway. And obviously, animated is cheaper, easier, and simpler. And they need this to keep going because they need the pandemic stuff. Because they can make 2 of these seasons in the time. Assuming they start at the same time, they can make 2 of these seasons the time it's going to take to make Discovery. When you include, season 4 being commissioned versus obviously starting to film. Yeah. But yeah, definitely a Janeway in this. But this teaser image it tells you a lot in terms of that there is nothing Star Trek in it, like telling you this is a whole new thing. But that doesn't. We can't glean anything. There's no Easter eggs. There's no hints. There's no, find this Hydra spanner, find the alien. It's just Pixar sci-fi. There's not like.
Sorry, Matthew DeFreitas. They do that in all of their promotions since Picard. Oh, the TOS thing. He said he's not yelling. He's just putting it in all caps because he's on a budget. Thank you. It's something I noted that I just want to point out. And the command star, like it's odd that it's there, but
nice logo though. It's a good logo.
Curtis Simpkins, $1 with no comment, but thank you so much. Squadra Course, $2. 6 crew equals small ship. Delta Flyer. I was thinking more like a Equinox, like a Nova class kind of thing. Was more what I had in my mind, but stand by to be disappointed. It could be a runabout.
I think you're limiting every kind of story you could possibly tell. Because if they're all living in the same small space, I think part of the funniness, like honestly, it could even be like a galaxy. Because if you want to talk about having a visual that people like, because think about it, if you're trying to do massive juxtaposition, have it be a Lost Galaxy class. Because then you have all the familiar sets that they are going to change as the season goes on, because they're going to modify stuff with their own technology. So the LCARs will change, the consoles will change, you know what I mean? But then it being such a large ship means that they can just find stuff. It's like an Atlantis. The city is the size of Manhattan. So every 5 episodes, look, we found in random building number 4030. What a surprise! So you should go really big rather than really small in the context of Star Trek, because it opens up season 5, episode 12. They find a lost Tholian artifact in Shuttle Bay 9. That's a story. If it's a runabout, there's nothing you can do with that. It's so limiting. And I think constantly they might do something like that, because then you have such an easy sell, and that's maybe why they're hiding it, because that's the mixed messaging.
It could be an experimental ship, like a large ship that was experimental drive or something that
got derelict.
Thrown. Yeah, and a lot of it is locked up with security clearances and stuff, and they need to find a way to get into different parts of the ship. That's an interesting idea as well.
And they go through a holographic database trying to find who will be most likely to help them holographically and unlock stuff, and they find Janeway, the Janeway program.
Olivia Julius, $2. I can see the gel guy being on toothpaste ads. Yeah. And Eugene, 250 rubles. TOS era ship, as long as it's not Star Wars era ship or Mass Effect era ship. P.S. Sorry for venting off. No problem.
We feel very much the same.
We've heard a lot of it, so yeah.
And definitely, it will not be TOS. It'll be Discovery OS. You know, they won't do TOS. Yeah. Only Lower Deck will do TOS because the showrunner can force these things through. You know, I can imagine these showrunners are more about creating a brand new thing in the Trek universe rather than creating a thing that fits into the Trek universe. You know?
Yeah. Well, the thing that I was thinking, if they are in the Delta Quadrant, okay, could it be the Maquis Raider they find? That's not a Starfleet ship, and no, it got destroyed. Could it be the Equinox? No, got destroyed, as far as I remember.
The Raven.
Are there any other... See, that's what I mean. Are there other ships that are in Voyager that are Starfleet that could be possibly be candidates for the Delta Quadrant?
Well, let's double down for a second. The first season starts with Endgame, and the Borg get blowed up. They've simulated a Starfleet vessel that's flying towards Unimatrix 006, and all the drones die because the drones die, and now it's derelict. Ooh. And so it's a simulated ship from our part of the quadrant that was in transit, and now you've got a derelict ship, and this is 50 years after that. So all the humanoid Borg tech is now like deteriorated because without the electronic components, it all fades, and they know about the Borg, which is reason because Delta Quadrant, whatever. And then you have a nice little link, and then that's why Janeway's relevant because she's destroyed the Borg. And then maybe even you can have maybe it's it wouldn't be Admiral, but it'd be there you go. There's some connection.
That's interesting, but you got to keep in mind it is a kids show aimed at kids, so I don't know if you.
So genocide isn't the best first episode start.
No, and dead Borg bodies everywhere with
rotting corpses.
Yeah. It's,
And one's Ensign Yelch, whatever his name was, that didn't die from the phaser fire, and here he is from the E, and you have to kill him again because he deserves 2 deaths.
Well, Scodge, of course, puts in $2. Kirk and the crew couldn't run the refit in Star Trek 3. How can 16s? Well, that's also a heavy cruiser. That's supposed to have a crew of 430 personnel. This could literally be the Equinox, like a Nova class. They don't need that big of a crew. Plus, there's more automated systems in the future.
Well, it was also a heavily damaged Constitution class. I don't think a lot of the automation was even working. Anyway, and Scotty was the only one that was actually able to put it together. If they had if you had 6 engineers, they could do it better than they did in Star Trek 3. You know, Kirk wasn't doing anything to help. McCoy wasn't doing anything to help. You had Scotty doing all the work and Chekhov pressing buttons. So it really is Scotty. Whereas all you have to say is the robot can jack in and turn stuff on. You know, that's all you have to say is the robot. I said everything wrong there.
I don't want to hear jack in and jack out and turn on and turn off in the same sentences from you.
But no, seriously, like all it has to be is the robot can control it. And you've seen a bit of Andromeda, haven't you?
Yes.
Yeah, so you got like Romy, ship's computer. Like he goes in the computer. Maybe this is his manifest form, and then in the computer it now becomes an AI and it can talk. Like that's all you need to make any ship functional fine.
Maybe it's another ship with bioneural gel packs, and the blobby guy falls in love with the bioneural gel packs. And...
They make bioneural babies.
Or maybe he is the goo,
evolution,
the gel that's become sentient somehow.
I mean, do you think they would go Delta Quadrant specifically because that was the Voyager Jazzword? Because you can't really go Alpha or Beta without them bumping into our ships. Gamma... I mean, hey, Gamma, they can bump... Maybe if you make Gamma, Dominion is still a threat. And that'd be kind of cool for them to deal with the Dominion randomly, because the Dominion will still be a threat post-TNG just to our own quadrant. So that could be a fun way of having, Voyager hero, DS9 villains.
Yeah.
Could be quite creative.
See, I think they're pointing towards the Gamma or Delta quadrants, but it's all unexplored territory, essentially, in this, depending on what timeline they put this in.
But if it is Delta, then obviously you've got the legacy of Janeway, which is a really, really fertile soil. Problem is, I would not want writers from the Kurtzman era to deal with that, because they will butcher it. Have you seen what they did with Picard? He's a horrible old man now. If it was the Star Trek Enterprise team maybe, because at least they have respect. But,
Yeah.
you want the Voyager team to tell stories of the further Delta Quadrant. I don't want to keep hearing how Janeway is a masochist that killed people. That was a one-off event, and that was great.
Tuvix.
Look, 2 people saved. It was worth it. Sorry.
There's a simple solution to the Tuvix problem. I don't understand why everybody's so up in arms about it. She did nothing wrong, by the way. Hashtag Janeway did nothing wrong. Save 2 people. All you got to do is get a DNA sample from Tuvix, reconstitute him later at some point. You can do that. Anyway.
Or just put him into the scan his body into make a hologram. Now you can say, I'm going to kill you, but you will live on as a hologram. And then, wouldn't that be awkward, actually? If we had Tuvok and Neelix and sit down with a hologram Tuvix and say, hello, I'm your son, and / your clone.
Oh, yeah, it would be more like their son. Like, you put the 2 of them together. So
I think that would be deleted really quickly, because I don't think Tuvok could deal with it. Oh, no! It got erased.
Oh, we got some more super chats.
Yes.
Eugene, 100 rubles. I like the idea of a derelict Deridex. A derelict? That's a tongue twister.
Goodness.
But I didn't screw it up. First time.
I mean, that is great. All the points.
Captain Chili Vina, $15. I haven't gone back to watch the last live. I did this, so I don't know what Sam's response was, but here's more money to encourage DS9 reviews soon. Oh yes. Yeah.
Yes.
We're getting there. We'll get there.
We'll have a discussion when we have to have it. But not until then.
Dez puts in $5.
Ooh.
Maybe these characters are from another universe other than Star Trek, who accidentally end up in the Prime timeline, and their ships break down. Tabernacle. Dez is from Quebec, and he was on my live stream last night, and we were talking about the French. He's from Montreal, and you've been to Montreal with me. The rude French. And tabernacle is like is worse than the C word.
They are a little bit abrasive.
See, now you get Sam's perspective, Des. I was telling you.
It's sad because Canadians are known for their politeness. Unless you meet French Canadians, then they're not known for their politeness, and yeah. But they don't want to be Canadian. They want to be French. They're not Canadian to themselves. They're French. They're
like the anti-Canadians. They're the Mirror Universe Canadians. Is what they are.
It's just weird they just dislike Canada so much, despite being a lovely bit of Canada. It's weird.
Yeah, beautiful. Montreal's a beautiful city. Beautiful architecture.
It's just very strange.
Dave Stelzer, $2. What about the Herodian holograms? Oh yeah, she gave them holographic technology.
Well, they abused it first, and then
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can do anything with that. I mean, I'd love to see Herodian back in any form. But I would love to. I mean, we did technically see it in Picard, which was really awesome. It was a very minor point, but we did see one.
Yeah. Unexpected Bagel puts in $3. The rock guy reminds me of the thing from Fantastic Four. Yeah, it's the first thing I thought when I saw him as well, but like made of rubies instead of rock.
Well, yeah, it's Big Hero 6 meets Sully meets the thing you just said, yeah. And just to briefly say about is it an alternate universe? At what point, though, is that no longer interesting as a Star Trek show? Because maybe this team were doing a different show and they said, "Oh, make it Star Trek." I said, "Okay, we'll add Voyager, we'll add Janeway, sorry," and now it's Star Trek. It should be grounded in the Trek universe. Otherwise, what's the point? Now it is a kids show, and you would not expect 12-year-olds to be Star Trek aficionados. So it does make more sense to make a show that has less Star Trek in it, because they wouldn't know that. They've not been alive long enough to know Star Trek like we all do. Okay, fine, sure. But then why? Like if you're doing a Star Trek animated kids show, have it be in the Academy. Have it be about post-Picard, the very first class of 15-year-olds as a test class to see if younger can join the Academy. And so they're the brightest 15 kids from all across the Alpha Quadrant, even non-Federation races. But they're too young, and Janeway is assigned to them because she's good at getting people together. And they take a ship out, and it goes wrong. They go through a wormhole. They end up in the Beta Quadrant, but 5,000 light years away. And Janeway's like, "Fuck, not again." They're one swerve of the season, and then she has to deal with these absolute young people who are half of them aren't meant to be there, half of them are too good to be there, and boom, there you go, story. What do you think?
That's brilliant. And how long have they been throwing around the idea of a Starfleet Academy show? Like, that's been
Since
in the works
80s.
for
No,
forever.
190s,
Yeah, exactly.
90s. Yeah.
So yeah, and actually, going back a little bit, I don't think Janeway could necessarily be involved, but right after the Battle of Wolf 359, they're short on ships, they're short on crews, they're short on captains, pushing Starfleet officers through, like leveling. I was going to say leveling up, promoting people to higher ranks, but getting those Academy people through. I mean, that would be also a good fertile area to tell some stories, but no, the Starfleet Academy thing, as much as I never really wanted to see that, it would have worked here, and I was hoping that this is what it might have been, but
isn't it sad? The thing I just came up with sounds great. I'd love to see that.
Maybe this is before they joined Starfleet Academy, and we're going to get another reveal of them in the same poses, all wearing their Starfleet uniforms.
Star Trek Prodigy will follow a group of lawless teens who discover a derelict Star Trek ship.
Exactly. They were told you can either go to jail, you can go to the brig, or you can join Starfleet.
Or you can kill Tuvix.
Yeah.
Just lawless teens. Why is that? I guess they want to, have that rebellious spirit of youth. But wouldn't you think showing kids in the academy, like young kids in the academy, showing discipline, energy, enthusiasm towards science, isn't that more good for kids than to show breaking the rule people? Like, you don't want to encourage rule breaking. You want to encourage rule following and thinking within the rules, but without you want to encourage a certain level of strength and reliability, not outlawishness. Star Wars, they're always outlaws, but that's their thing. You don't look up Star Wars characters normally. No one looks up to Han Solo and says, Han Solo, he's the great rule follower that I should be one day. He's like, yeah, if you want to get girls and break rules and probably go to prison, yeah, Han Solo. But he's not,
Tiburon makes a good point. Kirk was a lawless teen, at least in the JJ verse. Let's steal my dad's Corvette and drive it off a cliff. Dumbass. Anyway.
Yeah, but TOS normal Kirk wasn't a lawless teen.
No.
He was great.
Well, this is going to be Prime Universe anyway, because they can't get Prime Universe right at all. So,
except Lower Decks.
Truth.
We got down Olympic class at DS9, man. What more do you want?
Area 51, $5. Janeway did nothing wrong. I hear Lord Reloaded's head explode. Yeah, well, I'll debate him on that one. Mr. Pete's channel needs 900 subbies still. Mr. Pete. Guys, I don't know what he does or what kind of content he makes, but go subscribe to Mr. Pete's channel so you can at least change the number. Anyway, $2. No main humans. This show is anti-human. Boycotting. Yeah, I don't feel represented in this show.
Well, it's true though. There is no straight white male or straight. Well, there's a straight white woman, but there's none of our genders or ethnicities. But who the hell cares? Why does it matter?
It doesn't.
I don't care. First episode of Discovery had no white men at all. I don't care. So what? I don't know.
Squadron Course, $2. I could believe a Raven class or new small design. Yeah, absolutely. Like the Raven class would be a perfect small ship that these guys could. 6 of them. That's enough for the Raven for sure. Absolutely.
But they don't. They're not going to use an old design because they don't want to. I mean, to be fair, the Raven would look too boxy anyway. I don't think kids wouldn't be like, "Oh, I want to collect the Raven class." They won't. It has to be something sleek and cool, whatever. But there's another comment I wanted to bring up. How does Akonda fit into this? The outrageous Akonda. See, that tells us it must be Alpha Quadrant, or he's gone a very long way. So let's assume then for saying this is Alpha Quadrant.
So they find a derelict Starfleet ship. Could be from a battle or something, but you think the second they ran into anybody that knew anything about the Federation, it'd be like, Federation, there's this ship over here. Do you want this back?
You're only 2 light years from their border. Do you like? I think they want their ship back.
Yeah. And then what's Janeway doing? Like, again, I don't know. I can't see it being in the main quadrants, the alpha or beta quadrant, just because.
I mean, it could be on the edge. I mean, it could be. What if it's actually set at the galactic barrier, like the nearest sector to the galactic barrier? And then maybe a couple of these races came through the galactic barrier. Wouldn't that be interesting?
Ooh.
Yeah, maybe they're lawless teens. Maybe they literally do come through the galactic barrier, and the first episode they go through, they can't find their way back, and now they're stuck in our quadrant.
They're from another galaxy. There's an experiment gone wrong. They've ended up in our galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So that kind of grounds it, at least. And then Janeway is near there, and so they murder everyone aboard the crew, and they steal it. I don't know. Well, because that's the problem. Janeway isn't just places. You know, she isn't just going to be places.
Yeah. Super Coops, 5 pounds.
This
isn't Trek. It's fake. Also, hashtag DS9 reviews. Just saying, Sam. So say we all. Wait.
Everyone,
What wrong franchise? Hashtag go Trekyards. Yeah, I don't know why they're picking on you about that. I have no idea. Don't ask me. I just work here. Dave Stelzer, $2. Since it's called Prodigy, it'll be the USS Wesley Crusher. Yeah, Prodigy's a pretty big clue. I mean, Prodigy's a young, intelligent youth that, is out, overperforming. And I can see these guys all being smart, all in their own field, whatever. But, just haven't got the organization or the drive to be part of an organization like Starfleet. So they're just kind of lawless teens out doing their thing. That's the vibe they're giving off.
Well, how lawless is lawless?
Lawless implies to me that they're out murdering people. It's a bad choice of
That's
word.
pretty lawless.
It should have just been like delinquent or something. Like,
that's worse. Lawless is at least vaguely generic. That's very ooey.
Well, delinquent is just like little assholes.
Yeah, but lawless could just be, we nick a thing. Delinquent is, we're shits. We are shitty people.
We'll nick the thing and break the window and then tag it with graffiti before we leave.
It's just so sad because, like I say, from what we heard and was expecting, it would be fun with the Starfleet young people and have that unique vibe.
Rob Westfall says, "Should I just leave?" Cry face. No, why?
I always watch new Star Trek. It's like you shouldn't be able to complain about anything until you've seen it. Anyway, that seems like a flawed idea. At least watch it and see what you think. Give it the respect to watch it. It's still Star Trek. It's still whatever. I think that's important. And even if as a lot of people do, they watch the new stuff, not linking it directly to the old stuff, just kind of like, oh yeah, it's a show. It might be a great show. It doesn't necessarily have to be a great Star Trek to still be a great show.
Squadron Course. I'm just wondering, why does the big guy with the skin with like rocks need elbow pads? That's a good question. But Dez throws in $2, getting a Titan AE vibe with these characters. Yeah.
Well, they're definitely bright and colorful.
And I do like the animation style, I gotta say. Yeah.
Well, it's pretty. Like, it is it's very detailed. It's the exact opposite of Lower Decks. It's stylized but nice.
But with this animation style, I hope it's good storytelling because I really want to enjoy it. Because I'm ramped up because of the animation style. With Lower Decks, it was the exact opposite. I was like, oh, not really interested or looking forward to it.
Yes.
So is this going to be like the beautiful visuals? Like you'll see the ship cruise by and stuff, and then just shit storytelling because it's a kid's show? I hope not. I really hope not. I want to be able to enjoy this. So.
Well, they're not as young as they could be. Obviously, that's conceptual because they're aliens, but none of them feel like 10. They're teens, but teen can still be 18. I mean, 18-year-olds go to university. In America, teens drive, so you can't, teens have access to vehicles that can blow up and kill people, so teens still have responsibilities. You can't devalue a teen. But here's a close-up, though, of the two sort of main people. A lot more detail when you zoom in. I think it looks like the main lady is kind of an organic alien vibe. And obviously all aliens are organic, but, you know, I'm assuming there's maybe tentacles going down her arm, actually part of her physiology rather than just, you know, a dressing element.
Yeah, and the hair looks very much like tentacle kind of things as well.
Yeah,
to extent.
It's all part of it. But I mean, very Twilight. I mean, it gives a very Twilight vibe. But it's a good look. It's actually quite, you know, slender and elegant, but a little bit armor. They've got one shoulder pad. It looks as if only that arm has the tentacle things, and that's on the shoulder pad. So I'm guessing that's a protective thing.
But when you scroll down and you see the thing on her side, it looks very much like something out of you'd see in Clone Wars or Rebels or something. It looks like a Jedi thing, you know. Like you almost expect to see a lightsaber hanging there.
Oh yeah, these two are very Star Wars. I mean, that's a great Jedi outfit. Let's be honest.
Yeah,
that's a really good Jedi outfit. And even like the legs, that's like an arm. That's like a mirror universe dagger. Is how the leg plates are based.
Yeah, and they got some nicks out of them, so it's seen some action, or at least.
Well, I like the personality choice of the younger one, the girl, hasn't done the shoes up.
I think that's probably a boy. I think that's probably a young boy.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, okay. Looks like a girl to me, but we won't know yet. Because you've got two guy aliens, so. But it's funny that the shoes are undone. That tells you so much about the character. It's like, I'm cool and hipster, yay. Seems like a ponytail, like a youngling from Star Wars. A braid.
He's also wearing shoulder pads like the big guy, but they're different kinds of shoulder pads. So I was looking to see if those are the same, but they're not. I don't know. The robot's what's freaking me out because it doesn't look anything Star Trek at all. The other characters I could probably get behind but I don't know. It just seems very video gamey.
I mean, animation will obviously feel more like that, but it desperately needed somebody in uniform, you know.
Yeah, desperately. I hope we get more news about this like within the next week or two.
As a follow-up, yeah. Because this is definitely a less exciting image. Whatever hype may have been generated by Janeway, this is definitely going to lower the hype level drastically.
They're going to yo-yo us. They're going to be like, Janeway, oh, look at this picture. Oh, here's the ship. Oh, this is where it's set. You know, it's going to be like, oh.
It's a Galaxy refit variant, but it's purple now. Well, no, seriously, guys, 171 people. Put in the chat right now. Let's spam it. Are you more or less excited about Prodigy because of this picture? Not how excited, but purely more or less excited or hyped. I want to know. I'm less excited, but I'm also more intrigued. But any preconceptions I had about being excited are gone. But I'm more intrigued about what they could do.
So more excited or less excited in the chat. While you guys are doing that, I'll read the two super chats we got here. Jeff Jacobs, $2, 150. Love the Raven class, Winnebago in space. Yep. Well, actually, that's, Lone Stars, literally. And Mark Lawrence, $5. CBS Viacom merger finished December 4th, 2019. There are no rights issues any longer. It's purely choice now that they don't use original timeline things.
Well,
yes.
I mean, they did in Discovery and Lower Decks. They used a ton of original timeline stuff. So they've used loads. They even used JJ stuff in Discovery. So they've used plenty of original timeline stuff.
And Lower Decks. There's some JJ stuff in Lower Decks.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So we've got a lot of crossover now, which is great.
So we got less.
Oh, yeah,
less times 0, still 0. Maybe the robot was built by Packlids. Less.
And Nathan says less, but I'm 40. I'm not a target audience. Yes, that's very fair to say. How many of us are going to go in and watch, a 5-year-old show and say, well, storytelling's not very good. It's like, yeah, it's not made for anyone with our brain power. Like, it's meant for stupid people who are young, as in, you are more intelligent when you grow up. But so it's dumbed down content.
You can't say that. That's the caveat of it's a kids show. Beast Wars was a kids show, and it was brilliantly written, great characters, like such depth to the writing. It was made for the older audiences as well as kids, and I think that's what this might be. And I'm hoping for that little bit of
Well,
something to keep us hooked as well, because they do mention super fans in the article.
right. Well, I'm sure
what
Beast
does it
Wars
say?
was meant for teens, not kids. Like it's too violent to be
No.
for kids.
No, it wasn't for teens.
What, it was for
definitely
10-year-olds?
Yeah, like 10 to 15 would be the age demographic for Beast Wars for sure.
Well, that's
Yeah,
half.
yeah.
That's 13, 14, 15. That's more teenager than kid then.
Well, it's still young. Anyway, and it's not wars like violent. Nobody got killed. Well, Dinobot did, but
No, I just mean I wouldn't consider that a kid show, more a teen show. But there is a distinction there because you can have a very, very, very kids show. Although to be fair,
Beast Machines, the follow-up to Beast Wars, was the teen show. It was more dark and edgy and more violent.
but to be fair though, what a kids show is different now than it was then. They got away with more then, so that line is different.
Fleet Paw Swiftback is here with $2. Hey guys. Hey.
Hey.
I want to see what it says here about super fans.
And Daniel Hall says, yes, the problem is classic Trek was always for all ages. And not to say that a 5-year-old is really going to enjoy TOS, but...
They'll enjoy it for different reasons.
Yeah, well, yeah, it's not going to be their favourite show, probably, unless they get on the characters, but anyone from 10 or above will enjoy the stories, because they're good stories, enjoy the characters, they're characters, and you like it more as you grow older. And then you can then rewatch them when you're later. But, I mean, DS9 is not made for kids, or, DS9 isn't even made for non-Star Trek fans, really, with how in-depth it is. I mean, these things aren't kids' shows, but they're shows that anyone can enjoy, depending on their age. I mean, how many people watch Star Trek because of their parents? I was showed in Corbin Light Mover at 3, and guess what I do now for my work? So clearly, it was something that I enjoyed from a very, very early age to become imprinted on my brain, etc., etc. So it's just good stories for all people.
This article says a first look image of the Star Trek Prodigy bridge crew was also released today. In Prodigy, 6 young outcasts know nothing about the ship they've commandeered, which makes me think that they don't know anything about Starfleet. A first in the history of the Star Trek franchise, but over the course of their adventures together, they will be introduced to Starfleet and the ideals it represents. Kate Mulgrew was previously announced as reprising her iconic role of Captain Catherine Janeway to lead the brand new Prodigy bridge crew. What else? Any little nuggets in here?
Well, that's interesting, though. I mean, if that's the perspective, they start a bit shitty, and they see the Federation values. That's a fair way of doing it. Yeah, we always talk about contrast on the show. If they start brilliant, end brilliant, where's the growth? If they start less good and end up brilliant, then that's what you want, So, lawless teens have lost their way. Thing is, you'd also want them to be unhappy with their lives as well, or to some extent, and then show that the Federation is better, in a more stable way. But it may just be the ideals through the computer, or actually, in the Federation space, etc.
And they also say to bring Trek to a newer generation of younger fans, not necessarily kids, younger fans with an animated series.
Well, yeah, the kids. I mean, I said that I was devil's advocate with you earlier. A kids show should be for every age, but a little bit more towards kids. But it really is enjoyable for everybody, especially as most of the demographic isn't kids. Like most Star Trek fans are not children. So if you want to actually have your audience, you can't just be a children's show. If you want to get a new audience, then the parents have to show it to their children. But if the parents don't watch it, they're not going to buy their children the toys unless the children really like it, and then maybe the parents are going to like it. But if you have to get both the children and their parents to like the show, and then it'll kick off. You can't just appeal to the kids. It has to have all this really strong Star Trekness to it. But obviously, what is Star Trek now when you've evolved it and devolved it so much for the last decade and 2 years? And
on top of having great characters and absolutely gorgeous animation, Prodigy shows how the Viacom CBS brands can come together to make great, compelling content that appeals to both new audiences and longtime super fans. Okay.
But they lie about stuff anyway, so...
Oh, I know they do. I'm just...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not like they're going to say... And this show is not for old-time fans. They really shouldn't watch it,
So, Star Trek Prodigy is the first Star Trek series aimed at younger audiences and will follow a group of lawless teens who discover a derelict Starfleet ship and use it to search for adventure, meaning, and salvation. Good God. All right. Well, Eugene throws in 100 rubles, so thank you. Captain Janeway, not Admiral Janeway? Exactly. Again, we don't know the context behind that, so we're not quite sure. But yes, they've been saying Captain Janeway all along.
Which is fine if it's like takes place 1 year after Voyager, but in between Nemesis. Gives you a lot of storytelling possibilities. You know, like maybe this is the thing that makes her be Admiral.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah. Not
I
to say,
think I think the 7 years of Voyager is the thing that made her Admiral, but
yeah. No, I agree.
Tuning 3434, €2. Can't we just discuss new DuckTales instead? No. And Robert Westfield.
Yeah, I haven't seen old or new DuckTales. So I have literally nothing to say.
Yeah, Robert Westfall. Sorry that you're depressed, dude. Feel better. We're here for you, man.
Yeah, man.
172 people watching, 164 likes. Hit that like button if you haven't already. But yeah.
Mark says there's only 1 year of wiggle room between Captain and Admiral. They can have one. I mean, obviously, you can have multiple seasons in the course of just takes place over 1 year. But hologram, man, or she gets demoted, which would be a bit shitty. Or maybe.
This is post Picard, and she got demoted for not stopping Icheb's eye from being ripped out. I don't know.
Yeah, 7 of 9 makes the Fenris Rangers make her get demotion. Yeah, let's rip her all the. But I mean, yeah, I could possibly see that maybe she's older now because in real time, you know, she's 20 years older. What if they say it's been 20 years, which is 10 years post Nemesis, which means she could be in Picard. So it's Picard era, which is probably a safe bet if they hit Picard era, just that they can do crossovers. Because you want that. I mean, if they had Picard, I mean, think about the possibility then. If it's Picard era, you don't have to break the canon of your own new Picard show. You can have Patrick Stewart reprise and be both at the same show. And since Picard is also an outlaw on the less arena, I mean, talk about an obvious, you know, and since they're not Starfleet currently, that makes a lot of sense. Although, I mean, well, and actually, would it even take away much of the hype from Voyager Janeway? Because Picard is no longer the beloved character he once was. He's been hurt quite a lot. And
it could also mess up Janeway with this show.
Oh, sure. But I mean, Picard is no longer the grabbing talent he used to be, having done 1 season of Picard. So him in the show's like, oh, cool, Patrick's in it too. But I'm here for Janeway, you know. But that could be quite interesting, because then what if Janeway actually says, I've been an Admiral for 15 years, after Picard was fired, whatever. You know, give me a demotion, boss. You know, because I want to be a captain and do some captaining things again. You know, what if you thought she did a voluntary demotion? What if she asked to be demoted? You know, would that be interesting?
I guess. Maybe. I got the Fennec Rangers thing underneath my desk at all times, hanging here for an emergency. Yes. I should call them in and ask. What do you think? No? Okay.
But I think that could be interesting. I definitely like the idea of having the crossover less arena. I mean, again, like I've said previously, use these people while they're still around and, I guess, under contract. How great would it be to see Janeway and Picard on screen again? That was a great scene in Nemesis. It really was. And it was small and great. You know, they will not be around for that much longer in our lifetime. Yeah. My kids will not be able to meet Patrick Stewart at a convention. And that sucks, you know? So, at least have them on screen while you can.
Yeah, and it would be great to see Janeway on Picard, which we've actually talked about. It'd be great if she seeks some revenge for Icheb, because you think she would.
Well, at least have words to say.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I guess 7. Picard nothing to do with that, but...
So are you putting your bets on that this takes place at the same time as Picard?
Well, I mean, the last show they made, I mean, you know, Strange New Worlds and Discovery all take place during their new Discovery version timeline. So it would make some functional sense to make this show during Picard, because then you can utilize all that stuff. And then you get to build up the politics of that. Both shows can work in unison to push things forward. You get to answer some of the questions of what happened to the universe that we weren't even bothering to answer. And I think honestly, yeah, Less Arena makes sense. They've pushed Picard so much further into that realm of being an outlaw. That's pretty a natural thing. And you can imagine who, once Janeway learns he's out there doing his own thing on a ship that, can't be traced, etc. And then you have Center of Nine, Fenris Ranger, calling out the Rangers to come help. But then, like you said, if they're so far away, they don't even know who Starfleet is. Well, how the hell does no one know who Starfleet is? Either they are so far away or in different quadrants,
Or they're time travelers.
Yeah.
Or it'd be kind of interesting if they were from another galaxy and something happened that they ended up here. I mean,
and Galactic Barrier is a fun concept. It's been a little bit used, and I could definitely see it being more used. Maybe they're all part of a colony ship that came through Galactic Barrier, but it killed all their parents, and they're all orphaned, very Batman-esque, and they all survived. And then they were like, "Well, now we've got to take over the ship." But they've been traveling for because they don't really know how to use the ships. They've been traveling for a couple of years, and they stumbled on the Federation ship, and it's way more functional. And they've been on board, and because that could be fun. Then that explains why they're all different, and that explains why they have no idea who the Federation is, and they're far enough away. You could argue the barrier, farthest thing away, because it's literally the farthest thing away in our galaxy. You cannot get further than the Great Barrier. What do you think?
I don't know how I feel about that necessarily, but
I'm definitely hedging bets, though, aren't I?
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm trying to make it. You know how I am as a storyteller. I try to make things connect, and boy, this makes it hard to make things connect.
I don't know. Des puts in $5 Canadian. What if this is Star Wars / Star Trek crossover? Would you guys enjoy or hate that idea? I would absolutely fucking despise that idea. That is stupid.
Oh.
What are your thoughts?
Well, I may or may not be working on something that's similar to that, so I guess you're going to hate what I'm making. That's a shame.
I don't want a Star Trek Star Wars crossover. There's no need for it. It's just dumb.
Guess you won't like what I'm working on then. Oh dear.
Well, fine. I'll like it. I promise.
Did he sound convincing, guys? Did he? The
only thing I want to see from the Star Wars Star Trek crossover is just conversations, like Han Solo talking to Riker, C-3PO talking to Data. Moments. I actually don't want a crossover. Like those battles where you see all like Babylon 5 crossover with Star Trek, crossover with Star Wars, crossover with Halo, crossover with.
That was a good video.
It was very well done, but it was dumb. It was just pandering, unfortunately.
You fell asleep.
No, I didn't. Still better than anything that Alex Kurtzman could do. So, anyway. Richard says the imagery reminds me of a PS4 game. Well, yes. Yeah.
PS5, though. Let's be fair. PS5.
I don't know what else to say about these guys, man. I got nothing. I'm drained.
Well, yeah, I think we've done very good to have some fun debates. I mean, you guys have brought some great ideas. It's not what any of us expected, and as with a lot of these things, it's not what any of us would ever have made ever. Doesn't mean it's not going to be great, but they've now got more to prove to us, because the look looks high quality, but it looks way less interesting. So they've got way more to prove now.
We should go back and listen to our first glimpse of Lower Decks and listen to our discussion and see what we said, because it's always fun to speculate on this stuff and then later go back and see what we said early on after we know what the show's about.
It's like I had to watch our Discovery episode 1 review, and it's season 1 episode 1, and it's like we were giving so many, oh my god, it'll get better, and all these things might mean this, and we tried the hardest, so hard to make everything work. It was like,
yeah,
we were so dedicated to trying, so dedicated.
Eugene, 100 rubles. Star Wars and Star Trek are a match made in heaven. You only need to decide if ISD turbo laser can penetrate galactic class shields. Well, they can't, so it's easy.
If you have enough of them, they can, but you need a lot of them. But an SSD, Super Star Destroyer probably could, but they're the super version, so of course it could. But a normal Star Destroyer probably couldn't.
I feel like you know this because of the thing you're working on.
Oh,
What?
No, I was just my instant reaction to that question. I have power levels inside my brain of what I would do. So.
Gotcha. Well, 178 likes. Can we hit? Let's do 185.
Let's do 200. Come on, no, 200.
Okay, he says 200. I say 185. Let's see who can actually. We'll hit 185 for sure. I think because that's 7 more people. Can we get 20 more people now? Because we have 180. I doubt it. I have faith in you guys, and I love you guys, but.
Yes, and I want to see $32 more. 32.
Very specific number.
Right.
Super Coops, £5. Some great ideas from Sam, as always.
Thank you.
However,
Oh.
I have no faith in Kurtzman Trek to come up with nearly anything as good. Time will tell. Let's hope for the best. Yeah, that's cautiously optimistic, as I always say.
Stuart, we got the best pack lids. We got pack lids of some best villains in Star Trek because of Mr. Mike Cookman. It can be done in this modern era, and we got Discovery good stuff too. It's all variable. Although briefly, Alistair says, Trekyards, was anyone else kind of offended when they called Lower Decks a teen comedy in Paramount Plus video? That's why I've said teen comedy in this video. I would not consider it teen comedy at all. It's clearly not for teenagers, it's just for people. I thought that's a bit of an, not necessarily insulting, just, it's not a teen comedy.
No, it's not. It's the same vein of like Family Guy and
Rick and Morty.
Park, only
Just,
not quite as raunchy, obviously.
Yeah.
But yes, it's just entertainment.
I mean,
and satire.
young adult to old person. Like, everybody from that category, you know. And and younger if you don't mind the more complicated storytelling. Kids could still enjoy it 'cause it's quite bright. It's not at all.
195 likes. We're 10 above my goal and 5 away from Samuel's goal. So hit that like button. 5 more people.
See that blossomed, didn't it?
I know. I'm just trying to encourage them for 5 more because I know 5 people out there haven't hit it.
$17 more dollars after Fleetball. 17.
Fleetpaw Swiftback throws in $5.
There you go.
Kunstman must have a hell of a gag reflex to keep his job with all the crappy shows they're putting out. Cautiously optimistic here.
Well, he's been fired like 7 times.
Yeah.
And it wasn't his voiceover that does the video at all. No, not at all. Weird.
Okay, well, can we get 5 more likes, guys?
$17. But Kettle April, good stuff. Discovery does not compute. No, season 3, good season. Enjoyable, yeah. Far better. And if only they hired Trekyards as consultants. Thing is, I've been asked this: would I work on Discovery? And I think at a certain point, I would be too annoying to the team. And at a certain point, you would break down in frustration. That it's not worth anyone's time because I would want them to do canon. They would not want to do canon, and then I'd get fired.
Yep.
Like,
I'd be like, you hired me for a fucking reason. Listen to me. And yeah, I wouldn't last long. Somebody asked me last night on my first reaction. They'd like to see us interview Alex Kurtzman. I'm like, I don't know how well that would go.
Well, I feel like I should interview him, and you should be in my earpiece, and I could censor what you say.
I should just be monitor like this,
and then just do this. I fucking hate him. I fucking hate him. I fucking hate him. I fucking hate him. Ask him this. And Speed's Babe saying, "Die, bitch." I'm like, so Stuart asks, "What's your favorite color?"
And after he says a stupid answer about why they chose a certain thing, I should forcibly come in and be like, "Why did you make that decision? Answer me. Don't wait for the translation. Answer me now."
and he ends the video with Drumhead. He drops the thing. I'm like, you don't deserve that. You don't deserve that. No, that'd be fascinating because he would be able to lawyer speak his way out of a lot of the stuff. But it'd be the case of trying to kind of make him go off script.
We could trip him up. Yeah, like what's your favorite Star Trek? Did you grow up with Star Trek? Have him give the answer he always gives, and then we could throw a few curveballs at him to
Yeah.
show that he's an idiot.
Yeah, it's just funny when I just love that interview of him saying in the press tour, "Oh yeah, by the end of Discovery, we'll line up with canon." And it's like, well, you didn't line up with canon. You actually moved out of canon. Sorry, how do you line up with canon when you go out of canon to future canon?
Yeah, they said they were going to line up with canon at the end of season 1.
Yeah.
Look, the Enterprise. We know it exists. Here you go, guys.
It's just totally
That's
different.
not canon.
Yeah, he lies. He's just a liar. He's just a big fat liar. I think he does mean well. He wants to create shows out there for people to enjoy. He just knows that they can't. If all the Trek fans die, sooner rather than later, I can have new Trek fans and I can have a pension from Trek. So if I make new Trek fans, once the other people die, I'll be rich. I'll be the new Gene Roddenberry once all the other people die in 20 or 30 or 40, 50 years.
Well,
he's certainly making a legacy. At this point he's had more shows than Gene Roddenberry's had. He's had more shows than Brandon Braga and he's had more shows than any Trek producer has ever created. If you include how involved he was in Lower Decks. He's probably the most successful Star Trek producer ever made. Not as the seasons, in terms of shows. And if Discovery's at 4, so Lower Decks had a 2 commission, Prodigy had 2 season commission, Discovery's on season 4, so it's 8, and then Stranger Worlds 9, and Lower Decks. So he had 9 seasons of TV. So obviously he's not, he's more successful than Gene Roddenberry, because he died at season 5 of TNG. So he's at Gene Roddenberry's level of TV shows. Hasn't done any movies, obviously. And if every show gets like 7 seasons,
he did the JJ movies.
True.
He was involved with the first one and the second one at least.
Both. It's true.
And he fucked those up.
Yeah. See, I'm good at being devil's advocate, aren't I? With some semblance of logic.
Yeah.
It's a real
I am too sometimes, but I could not go to bat for Kurtzman.
I'm trying to think of his logic, because he has logic. He may be damaging the franchise, but he has logic. He's not a stupid man, otherwise he wouldn't be able to have 19,000.
I think he's a stupid man. He's just been lucky and surrounded himself with people that put him in positions of power. Well, anyway, Fleet Paw Swiftback, $2, 203 likes. We hit the goal. We did. We hit Sam's goal. So good job, guys. Making me look like a fool. That's fine. I do that myself, so it's fine. Mr. Pete's channel, $5. We all know how season 1 ends. Riker, Troy, and Boynes arrive in the Titan to save him. Riker will then offer the kids their first drinks and then play jazz. Hey, I'm down for this.
Richard says Kurtzman is known for quantity of Trek, not quality. Yeah, very fair point.
Mm-hmm. He's got the shotgun approach, and I compared it yesterday, or spray and pray is another way to put it. I compared it yesterday to when we had Voyager, DS9, and TNG. That was like the golden age of Star Trek, like the golden age of comics. You had the big hitters. And right now we're in the silver age of Star Trek, just like the silver age of comics. Once the silver age of comics came about, every goddamn side character got their own fucking comic. So it was a lot more going on in the silver age because everybody had their own comic runs. Same thing with Star Trek. There's a lot more shows. People are getting their own shows, like you get a show and you get a show and you get a show. And that's what it is. It's quantity over quality. There's some gold in the silver age of comics for sure, but a lot of it is very forgettable stuff and characters and series that you don't really care about. So that's how I compared it last night.
Yeah, I mean, the golden age of Trek got worse with Enterprise. It ended with a Peter. Well, obviously it got better at the end, but it still was the worst of the shows.
Well, that wasn't really in the golden age, though. That was a couple of years after. So it was kind of like trying to get the silver age restarted, or the silver age started, and just kind of petered out.
The epilogue.
But, yeah.
I was gonna say something about something. Don't remember. Oh yeah, the Section 31 show they talked about. They said it's still on the cards and we're still talking about it.
Yeah.
But too many shows are happening right now and we'll do it later when the other shows naturally wrap up. So talk about them announcing a show 2 years ago and it hasn't even been started to be produced because you produced loads of other shows. I'm sure what happened is they had an idea. Fans said they want something else, so they pivot any budget to Stranger Worlds, said, well, we want this, but fans actually want this. Let's make that instead. And then hopefully we can get Michelle back in 2 or 3 years. And at that point, people are going to care even less because the character will be so irrelevant. I mean, she's already irrelevant. She's only been gone for 3 episodes. Like, who the hell cares? Why would you care? But it shows it was never a real, a thing. And we've said that since the day one. It's like, no, that doesn't really work.
Yeah.
She'd probably be in Pike. That'd be all Stranger Worlds. It would make sense if they really want to.
Oh yeah, she'll make an appearance for sure in Stranger Worlds.
But so you can imagine that also she left the show. So she could be in the past just in case. But also, she was such a bonus thing. Like she was never really part of the main story, etc., etc. So it also makes sense to get rid of the character. No offense to Michelle. She's also probably the most expensive person in the cast, except the lead actress, Sonequa.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, so that show's not happening right now. They've got 5 shows, and that is not one of the shows they're doing. But I can't imagine I can't imagine they could get the budget right now for another live action show. They've already signed contracts with Picard and Discovery. Do you really think many people want to fund another pandemic-based, oh no, God, how many other measures do we have to do to film it show? Whereas the animated ones, they're probably going to throw more money at it. It's like, yeah, quicker. Quicker! Look at my words. Quicker! And that's fine, but the live action, not going to...
Fleet Paw Swiftbat, $2. I could take a bat to Kurtzman.
Oh.
Not go to bat. Oof. Ow.
I'm not an aggressive
Sergeant...
person like that, so I would not. Well,
I'm not really an aggressive person either, but some people.
Well, he definitely symbolizes a lot of the bad things about Trek, which is a problem.
And he's got a very punchable face.
He's a smug man. Yeah.
Yes.
Because things again, from his point of view, he's probably very rich. He's got a lot of creative power.
Trek.
Yeah, he brought Trek to TV. He has 5 TV shows to his name. In only a couple of years, he had 3 TV shows come out last year that he was responsible for. Or at least he got green light for. I mean, he's probably one of the highest flying producers in Hollywood right now. How many producers have 3 TV shows to their name, and that were on in 1 year, and 5 in development? Are you kidding? Crazy.
Yeah. Sergeant Montgomery, $2. 1031 registry makes Kurtzman dumb in my book. Well, that wasn't his decision. That was
the other dumb one.
Fuller's decision.
The start of the road.
I like Halloween. So yeah, 1031. That's the registry number because he likes Halloween.
Hey, at least he didn't like 79461 because that was his wife's birthday. It's like, why is that NCC 74961 in the TOS era? Oh, it doesn't matter. It's like, oh, at least it fits, relatively speaking,
Yeah.
At least he didn't know enough to butcher anything else. Tibron, I don't think animated series are quicker than live action. Yes, massively quicker. They're massively quicker.
Hey, you don't have to get hairdressers, catering, all that shit together for people. They
permits to film, sets.
You send them the scripts, they record their lines, they put it in, you get the animators working to do the animations. It's very much easier. Very much easier.
It's under half the time often. Again, how much budget you have, dependent. But yeah, I mean, there isn't also filming, you film a minute page a day. If you have 10 animators, you can film 10 times as much. If you have 5 actors, you can't film 5 actors, 5 different scenes. If Patrick's in every scene, you can only film so many scenes. If you have 10 animators, you can animate 10 scenes. Massively quicker. And once you have the set number of sets, they're less detailed to build. I mean, a carpenter might have spent months on a set. A 3D modeler can build a set in a day or 2. And because of if your lighting isn't photoreal like Lower Decks, you rarely have to worry about lighting at photoreal. Like, where are all the lights? Doesn't matter. Like, it's just lit. So there isn't a lighting guy spending 4 hours lighting a set. And once you like the basics, it's done. And you don't have to repaint them for season 2, dust them, replace LEDs, test. No, it's infinitely quicker.
Yeah. And Car Shep says, arrived latish. Have you made a decision on the box for Trekyards yet? Yes.
Sounds like a great choice. Talk about it, Stuart. As we want the last $4. Come on. 4.
Last super chat's a lot if anybody's interested. But speaking of super chats, Saturday is going to be interesting because Saturday we're doing our Drunkyards live, where at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, you guys tune in. We are going to be, you can get us drunk as much as you want. We'll be doing some fun stuff, I think. But we're going to have a mystery box, a Captain Foley mystery box that it's Sylvia's idea, the Admiral. Her and I are going to put it together. It's going to have random stuff in it. At the beginning of the live stream, we're going to tell you the value of it. And what's going to happen is anybody that super chats, 1 super chat equals 1 entry for the box. So if you put 5 $1 super chats in, that's 5 entries. So it's fair for everybody. So people that can't just throw down $100 say I want to win the box, because originally it was going to be a silent auction and somebody could have done that, which really isn't fair. So this way, even if you're a small amount, you can get a lot of entries in. And at the end of the live stream, we're going to pick a winner. We're going to ship it off to you guys. And there's going to be some really great stuff in there. Like there might be some Eagle Moss stuff and other cool stuff and just some randomness. It'll be a fun little box. Hopefully the person that gets it will want to do an unboxing video or something on YouTube. After they've won it, they will email us at trekyards@hotmail.com with their address. We'll send it off. And once they've received the box, then we're going to release a video of me and Sylvia putting the stuff in the box, how we made the decisions, so everybody can see what the person got that won if they don't do an unboxing video for it. And we're going to be doing boxes like this on a semi-regular basis every couple months maybe. And you guys get to see what wasn't put in this box and might be in your next box, because we got a bunch of stuff that are doubles or extras or maybe some signed things. I don't know. We'll have to see what's going in the box. But keep in mind that that'll be an option for anybody that super chats on Saturday. There will also be, we'll probably be doing truth or drink super chats, or would you rather answer or drink. We don't know what we're doing exactly yet, but we're gonna have fun on this Saturday. It's just kind of a hangout, and then in a week or 2 after that, we're probably doing a retrospective of season 4, because we'll have wrapped up season 4 reviews by then. So
yeah, and to be gently blunt as well, after all the shows went down, our income dropped by a ginormous chunk, and so this will actually, hopefully bring us back at the point where we're comfortable, which is, we're there for hours to get drunk, and this works as a great formula. So it's kind of like a let's all have fun together way. So very, very useful. And
some of these drunk lives go for 6 hours. One went for 6 hours. Now the thing is, you don't have to stick around for the whole thing if you super chat. Whoever wins, we will be posting that on the Facebook page, and I'll do a live telling the winner that they won as well, just so that you guys, the winner knows and can email us. If it turns out that the person never gets back to us for some reason, we will pick another name, but that's something to worry about later. But you don't have to stick around for the whole thing to the end to find out who won. You can just tune in every once in a while to see if we're near the end, and we will post it, as I said, on all the Trekyards Facebook groups and stuff. So
fancy.
Yeah. Matt Boardman throws in $5 and says, great sound effects. Eugene, 250 rubles. Mystery box. Oh no, Captain's got JJ corruption. Time for a merciful coup de grace. Ooh, I never thought about that. Maybe we should call it something else.
Well, you should definitely just paint the box with deltas. It's fine. Deltas everywhere. On the postage stamp. Deltas on the eyes for the little bit at the top.
But yeah, everybody that super chats gets a. So if you put in, like I said, one $10 super chat is 1 entry, but a $10 super chat can make us drink because it's a half shot or whatever.
Yep.
So that you get different pros and cons for each. And if you can't afford very much, you can only afford like $5. Split it up into $1 super chats. You get 5 entries, so you get a chance to win. It'll equal out. I think that'd be a better way to do it. So we're gonna try it out this Saturday, see how it goes. And so if you're interested in joining, winning some cool stuff, maybe.
He's going fancy, is what I'm hearing.
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
But Tiburon responds back to me. He says, maybe it's the difference in CG animation versus hand-drawn, but they always ordered shows like Simpsons, Family Guy, South Park 2+ years ahead because of the required lead time. Maybe in their first couple of seasons, but South Park is well known for having a less than a week turnaround. The famous example of Susan Boyle in X Factor, and she was in South Park 4 days later. So they can produce South Park in 5 to 6 days maximum. I think they did once in 4 days. So It's not 2+ years. Those things are made in less than a week often. And yeah, I mean, nowadays you're not making season 17 2 years ago. You're making it this year, and then you spend years off. So no, it's that's a very long time ago you're thinking that. And so it wasn't South Park for 10 years or so.
Yeah. Fleet Paw Swiftback throws in $2. Phaser snipe. I can't do the phaser sound.
You have to keep it going a little bit more.
Well, I'll just do this. Oh, did my battery just die? My battery's died. Samuel.
Yes. You need
a chart.
You need a new power pack.
Yes, I know.
See, TOS had power packs, you know?
Oh my god. That's funny. Yeah, that was a phaser sound effect. So.
You know, that went great, Stuart. That was great. You really knocked it out of the park with that one.
Hey, Samuel.
Hello.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
I love you, man. I love you. So yeah, like I said, Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come and join us. We'll be hanging out and talking about pretty much whatever you guys want us to talk about. Having some fun. So it looks like Fleet Paw is the last super chat slot as of right now. But did you want any more? What did you want? What did you want?
I mean, honestly, we need one more. One more's great. One more Bollywood dollar. There you go. One more rupee. And 3 likes. But yeah, just I'm glad we talked about this. Certainly unusual live, but I'm glad we had so many good ideas. And like we said, they've even more to prove now, which is not necessarily a good place to go from, but you know, maybe they have a brilliant ship. I'm gonna say hopefully over the next couple weeks we're gonna get a lot more information about the show. Find a release date, maybe May or June. Hopefully that'd be great. If not, it might be the fall, but I think we're gonna start to have a snowball effect of information coming out about the show now. So that'd be great. Well, I mean, it's really only been a month since Discovery finished, so you know you need a little bit of cycle. But I can imagine they want to make sure that promotion to release, you know, cause it was bad to announce a Section 31 show, but 2 years on hasn't even started to be filmed yet. You know, that's a way of really ruining it for people. Whereas announcing it and then releasing, it's like when they announced Prodigy, it's like, here's a logo and nothing else about it. I'm like, oh,
great.
But yeah, I'm definitely expecting one of the new shows, Prodigy. I'm assuming them by middle of the year, and then Lower Decks back in October. Would be my guess. Then Discovery would be in January or February, and then Picard will be taking over after that. Would be my guess. I don't think they'll try and do 23 weeks again. I think they'll have at least a month and a half, if not 2, between the shows. That's good for them. Because they can have if they have 2 shows every 6 months, which lasts for 2.5 months, and they actually have, you know, a 3-month break between shows, which is perfect. You know, but then you start teasing the next show, having a trailer. That's a really great way of having promotion. So you have, you know, 1 week break, 2 months of promotion, 1 month of break, 2 months of promotion, start the new show. Yeah.
Yeah. Paul Graham, $1.
Oh.
Matt Boardman, $2. $2 hauler snipe. Nice. And Curtis Simpkins, $1. Look, it's doing something funny. I haven't replaced the batteries yet.
Yeah. So as he tries to get his phaser back in working order, thanks guys, and please join us on Saturday. Not quite sure the time yet, but earlier in the day, obviously, because it's drunk ones, and then we'll get.
I said probably 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is generally when we start those.
Just gotta try to have dinner early enough. And Stuart, eat. Remember to eat. You need food.
Don't worry, I got it.
Okay.
Got it.
You've learned, have you? Because these ones can get quite messy.
Yep. Dez puts in $2. Have a good night, guys. Thank you very much, Dez. You too. And thank you. Well, that's a great thumbnail, by the way. I gotta schedule that one.
Yeah, I always try and find us together ones, and luckily we've got a lot of trips together now, so there's some good random pictures. But it confuses people, which is nice. It's like, what?
Although you guys together? Why aren't you wearing masks?
Because if you've already travelled on a plane, you've already committed to that anyway. It's like, why do we wear masks if we hang out for a week? That seems excessive anyway. Why would we do that? We don't live in the same country. Although you can't tell, we're actually quite photoshopped together. We're actually much further apart. I've had to push us together a lot because it's not written. Anyway.
Nice.
I tend to do that with these.
Yeah, I noticed.
Like with the Mandalorian ones. Like, god damn it, they've really got to get pushed together. Anyway. Sorry. Anyway. Yeah. Have a great time, guys.
He's Commander Cockings.
I am. He's Captain Foley, both on screen and in real time.
Yes.
Bye, guys.
Bye. See you Saturday, guys.